So far, the power clean is the session that I look forward to the most. It's exciting, it's a whole new discipline of athleticism, and it's a skill that I really want to continue to improve. I want to be able to power clean 100 kilos. I want to just keep improving onwards. And seeing Chinese athletes, Olympic lifters, with their elegant movements and how like effortlessly they just power clean stuff, it's it's amazing to see, and I guess I have so much inspiration from that. Now, today being the second full session for the power clean, I decided to focus on a lot of my common flaws. Now, in my last video, I asked for some advice, and people in the comment section were kind of suggesting certain cues, such as like, consider yourself as being in a frog stance and just pushing your legs away from the ground, or like pushing your chest away from the ground. But those helped out quite a bit. However, Mantis Calisthenics actually provided me a lot more detailed advice, and he pointed out the common flaws of my clean. Now, the most common being, or the most apparent being, my hips shooting up at the initial pull. Now, this causes my back angle to lose it's got to maintain its back angle throughout the whole initial pull, but it kind of shifts, and I guess that's not ideal because there's a bit of a loss of drive, and I guess I'm starting the second pull too early, or I'm too eager to pull as fast as possible. I'm not being patient. I'm not being controlled with the movement. And I think it's pretty common for beginners to do this because the power clean seems like such a power related movement that you want to just go explosive as possible and just pull as hard as possible from the start. By nature, your body kind of takes in the most most powerful and natural stance, and hence the hip hinge will take priority and your hips will just shoot straight up. I think that was my problem, and it's because of my lack of experience with this stance. Initially, I thought it was just because I'm significantly more hip dominant and I've got no quad strength whatsoever. But Mantis Calisthenics, Chris, he corrected me and said, well, it's probably because I'm just not that experienced with starting off low and maintaining a constant back angle. And the ways I've been trying to improve this in this session was through tempo clean pulls, and just the clean pulls. Making sure that my back is straight the whole time and I'm elevating myself at a constant, like a maintenance almost. And it's very difficult for me because I feel like I'm excessively exerting my quads, or at least perhaps I've never been using my quads at all when it comes to deadlifting. The few times that I have deadlifted, it basically looks like a stiff leg deadlift because there's pure hip hinge and hardly any form of extension of my legs. And the way I see it is I can't pull as much as I can squat. And I think these clean pulls are going to help out a lot. My only problem right now is whether this may be due to inexperience or just a lack of like form awareness. My problem is I can't really transition the tempo or the controlled pull from the initial start to a fast and explosive second pull in order to ensure that I get a power clean rather than just squatting all the way down and getting a clean itself. And I feel like I'm losing a lot of power and explosiveness initially by not allowing myself to have my hips at a higher stance. And I think this is just going to take some time for me to get used to. And over time, this more professional form is going to help transition to better control and heavier weights over time. And I can say that it does feel more fluid. It feels more natural, perhaps. Sorry, not natural, but it feels like this is how the clean should be. It doesn't feel like a ridiculous hip hinge from like almost a 90-degree position and then immediately like just pulling my back, extending my back all the way up. That doesn't really feel like a proper power clean to me. And perhaps almost squatting the deadlift is more convenient for the clean. It perhaps gives more momentum. I'm just very lacking in research and understanding on this skill, so I can't really say for sure. But yeah, it's just very exciting, and I want to see how well I can improve in these tempo, or how well it can transition to the power clean. Now, I decided to finish off this session with some squats. I only went up to a 110 single, and I kind of stopped it there because my legs felt pretty fatigued, and yeah, they just felt very fatigued from the deadlifts themselves. Sorry, the cleans. So that was a pretty interesting note to take as well. And yeah, I guess that makes me a bit more aware of how I could look around programming squats and power cleans, perhaps on the same day or on different days. So that's basically it, and I'll finish it off here.